Chelsea going to win the Champions League. What's happening, people? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host Jan. I hope you lot all doing well today, mate. I really do hope that Chelsea are doing pretty well lately, aren't they? 4 clean sheets. Edouard Mendy has he got 5 clean sheets or 4? Anyway, the goalkeeper's good. He's only conceded 1 goal. Chelsea's defence is looking excellent. The attack is looking scintillating. Hell, the midfield is looking balanced. And Chelsea are sitting pretty darn pretty in the Champions League group at the moment. A resolute defensive performance against Sevilla with a clean sheet, a point shared. Fair enough. A very convincing away performance in Russia against Krasnodar. 4 goals. Very nice. We love to see it. And of course, Chelsea are playing Rennes. A good team. They've been pretty impressive of late. Obviously, they've got into the Champions League in Ligue, and Ligue is still a top 5 league in Europe. So to qualify for the Champions League in that league, a lot of leagues going on, then that's pretty impressive. Of course, they've lost Edouard Mendy to Chelsea, but they will fancy themselves to try and do something against Chelsea. Frank Lampard's Blues will have to not be complacent against this opposition, because if we win, we are in a very strong position moving forwards to qualify. Oh yes, indeed. And similarly, if Chelsea lose, we've caused ourselves problems. So this game cannot be taken for granted, and I'm going to be talking about it in today's video. But first, alright, let's go. A big thank you to Chelsea Football Club for sponsoring me on this video and partnering up for Football Therapy to talk about Play Predictor. Oh yeah. Play Predictor is where you test your knowledge about the Chelsea prior to every match, making predictions about what's going to happen in that match on the Fifth Stand app, the official Chelsea app that gives you everything you'll ever need to know about the magnificent Blues, so make sure you got the Fifth Stand. Play Predictor gives you the opportunity to win magnificent prizes like £500 voucher in the Chelsea Megastore with official signed merchandise. Mwah. Mwah. You can win all this just by knowing stuff about Chelsea. Right, so I'm going to do my Play Predictor predictions right now. Chelsea versus Rennes, who's going to win? Well, Chelsea are going to win 3-1, I think. Let's go down. Who will be Chelsea's first goal scorer? This is a difficult one. I'm going to go with Tammy Abraham. I think he might start, and I reckon he will score in the 12th minute. Oh, how many shots will Chelsea have overall? I don't know, maybe like 15, 14, let's go 14. With a good 7 on target, that would do me nicely. And let's give Chelsea 60% possession, I think's fair. 8 corners, I think sounds pretty decent too, and I'm going to submit my answers now. Boom, can you beat me? Am I wrong? Play Predictor now by clicking the link down in the description. Alright, see you later. Right, and we back. So Frank Lampard has just done his pre-match press conference for the Rennes game, and he talked about Christian Pulisic's injury after he pulled up with a sensation in his hamstring prior to the game against Burnley. Positive news from the gaffer. Apparently it's not serious at all, and it very much was a precautionary measure, him not playing that game. And although he won't be available to start in this Champions League game, we could hopefully expect to see him back soon. Who knows, maybe even next weekend in the final game prior to the international break. That'll be nice. So, Rennes' probably biggest loss of last season, of course, is Edouard Mendy. They've got Gomes in goal, a new goalkeeper that isn't as good as Edouard Mendy, and of course, this will be the narrative leading this fixture. Mendy in the Chelsea goal will do all he can to prove he's worthy of the new Titanic transfer to Chelsea Football Club, which in his defence, he's already proven he's seemingly good enough. But really, the onus is on Chelsea to continue their momentum, to show they are still defensively resolute, but also that they can link this defense and attack. So I want to talk about who I think's going to actually line up in this game. And really, it's a lot of familiar faces. So let's switch over and I'll show you the lineup I've chosen for this game. As you can see here on the graphic, I've gone for a 4-3-3 yet again. And there's a lot of familiar faces in this starting lineup. There's a couple of games before the international break, and Chelsea don't really have injuries apart from Christian Pulisic and, Billy Gilmour coming back into fitness and stuff. I think Frank's going to want to go for continuity here, provided people aren't feeling that fatigued, knowing there's an international break coming up relatively soon where hopefully players won't be run that hard with their international teams. So I do expect to see Edouard Mendy in goal, showing his old team that he's still super good and he's evolved into this new elite level keeper. And I do expect to see continuity mainly in the back line. I think Ben Chilwell will have to start again because honestly this is a massive game, just like all Premier League games are massive at the moment, and we can't really afford to bring in Emerson or Alonso. You could argue that perhaps Azpilicueta could play there and then Reece James at right back, but I actually think Reece James would be rested, and I think Azpilicueta will play at right back in this game with the familiar centre-back partnership of both Thiago Silva and Kurt Zouma yet again. Again, like before, a lot of French speaking between them two, the goalkeeper, the right back, and yet again, N'Golo Kante at the base of the midfield. Now, I did have to think about this one a little bit, because of course Kante has to be managed now more than ever with his injury problems last season, and indeed the end of the season prior to that as well. But honestly, if Kante feels like he's good to go, I think Frank Lampard will want to get this group done and dusted, or at least qualification in this group done and dusted as quick as possible. So I think if he can, he will play his big names if they're available and if they give him the nod in terms of their own, you know, fatigue and stamina and whatever. And with that, I do genuinely think if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Mason Mount and Kai Havertz in the attacking 8 positions. So pretty much the whole lineup so far, apart from Azpilicueta coming in for Reece James, I think so far continuity is the answer. Now in my lineup, the only changes have come in the front three. Of course, I think if Pulisic was fit, he'd play, but he's not. I actually think Tammy Abraham gets the nod to start again in this match. His average position was almost like a false 9 around the midfield before against Burnley, and it worked really well. I think Timo Werner, who was supposed to get a rest last game out, he might get a rest in this game and then be brought back in for the game in the Premier League against Sheffield next weekend. So, with that, I think Tammy Abraham starts up front. I'd like to see Callum Hudson-Odoi start on the left wing because, you know, he's looking better and better lately, and I think Hakim Ziyech, because he's only just come back into the team, I think he might be ready to go again and then maybe get subbed off again, you know, like at 60 minutes again or something. So I can actually see Hakim Ziyech starting on the right wing. So that's my lineup, the 4-3-3, we move again. Let's squeeze all we can out of these players before they need a rest, and let's move on and talk about the Champions League a little bit more. Now, of course, Chelsea are massively favourites. Rennes really are going to be fighting out with Krasnodar to try and get the 3rd place in this Champions League group. In my opinion, you know, to basically qualify for the Europa League and not get chucked out of Europe entirely. I think Sevilla and Chelsea will of course remain to be favourites to both qualify. Who will top the group? Hopefully Chelsea, but we're yet to see that yet. I think Chelsea are going to win this game. Whether they will keep a clean sheet yet again for the 7,000th time in a row, I'm not so sure. I am going to predict a 3-1 Chelsea win in this instance. Maybe Mendy, the occasion might get to him, who knows. Maybe the forwards of Rennes, they know Mendy's like weaknesses potentially. I'm not so sure. I just feel like eventually the clean sheet bubble will pop, but hopefully the functionality of the midfield would be enough to see Chelsea score multiple goals, and hopefully in this instance, in my prediction, 3 goals. That's what I'd like to see. If Chelsea win this game, they'd be in a massively comfortable position moving forward in this Champions League group. And the feel-good factor of Frank Lampard's Showtime Blues will continue, and we'll all be very, very happy Chelsea fans indeed. So let me know your thoughts and opinions. Jump down into the comment section below. I want your score predictions and changes you would make to my lineup. I'd be really interested in hearing that, so do that, my friends. Drop a like on the video if you've enjoyed the content, and remember to subscribe if you're new. Daily Chelsea content right here for you on Football Therapy. Is that English? That made sense, right? Anyway, I'm out, boys and girls. Enjoy the football, and I'll see you later.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought. Body bag the verse, outlined in chalk. In my life seen trouble, hustle on the double. Silence on the trigger like my pick got a muzzle. Yo, chick like to guzzle, bad boy stay in trouble. I only love this paper, sorry I don't. I laugh me baby.